evening again, and again, our sincerest apologies. We had multiple technical difficulties. We appreciate Focus Springfield for being able to correct that. We're going to hear from the students because we hate not to hear from the students. So to the viewing audience, that will delay our regularly scheduled meeting. So without further ado, let's go to Duggan Academy. And we need to have Jayla James, senior, go first. She's got a big soccer game. We appreciate, again, Principal Calvanese, Assistant Principal Robinson, and Associate Principal Billy Snow, William Snow. So Jayla, again, good luck tonight too. And if you're on, please.
Mayor Serrano, I think she had to drop off.
Okay.
They needed her. We were down 1-0, so we need her in the game.
We need her. And all right, well, good. Again, our apologies, Principal Calvanese, and maybe if we can go to Phoenix Yates, the 8th grader. And hopefully we can hear from Miss James down the road if we can in one of the meetings.
Great. Superintendent Warwick, Mayor Serrano, the school committee, family, and friends, good evening. My name is Phoenix Yates, and I'm an 8th grade student at Duggan Academy, as well as the newly elected class president.
Oh, all right. Congratulations, Mr. President.
I have been at Duggan since 6th grade, and my experience so far has been great. The support that I have received from the teachers and staff at Duggan every year has been consistent and unparalleled. Every school is unique, and this is especially true for my school. The teachers and staff at Duggan encourage students to be creative, to reach for the stars, and most importantly, be active participants in their education process. Teachers encourage us daily to embrace our habits of scholarship as part of our lives in and out of school. They show us the importance of respecting ourselves and others, taking pride in the quality of our work and actions, persevering through challenges, and always taking responsibility for ourselves. Additionally, our school offers different incentives for our academic achievements. For example, we have weekly enrichments, which start with a community meeting in the auditorium for the entire 8th grade class. After we engage in community building activities, we disperse to different enrichments led by community partners such as Western New England University, Mass Mutual, YMCA, Girls Inc., Gear Up, and many more. These are a few of the things that make Duggan a special school to be a part of, and I am proud to call myself a Jayhawk. Thank you for your time.
Nice job, Phoenix. Thank you. When I go to my alma mater, the High School of Commerce, Leslie Patel, senior grade 12, supported by Halissa Beyer, college and career manager. Thanks for your patience.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, I'm going to introduce Leslie. She is a 12th grade senior. She is here with us at the High School of Commerce, and she's one of my dual enrollment scholars. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for all coming. My name is Leslie Battle, and I'm representing the High School of Commerce. When I was in the 9th grade, I was in a different school in New York. When 2020 arrived, I moved to Springfield, Massachusetts, going into my 10th grade year over Zoom. Not gonna lie, when we went back to in person, I started my junior year, I was constantly getting into trouble not doing my work. So at the beginning of 2022, I matured and made up my mind to be a better student by changing everything around, by doing my work, not getting into trouble, and starting my STIC courses. I decided to do dual enrollment when Ms. Beyer came into the room and explained how much this could benefit me. I saw an opportunity to finish high school with college credits, and I will be the first in my family to graduate with high school and college credits.
Wow.
Yeah. And I will be the first in my family to attend college and earn a degree. Commerce has provided me with so many opportunities that any other school hasn't or wouldn't. Joining dual enrollment and having an opportunity to interact with other students in the dual enrollment program, as well as current college students. Before in dual enrollment, I didn't have plans to go to college. I had plans to drop out of high school. My plans for my future now are to go to college to earn my doctoral degree and to become a lawyer. I definitely could see myself being a lawyer from 10 years from now. If I could give an advice to incoming freshmen, I would use all of my knowledge that I learned in dual enrollment to help other students in commerce that don't understand how school affects their future. And if they could keep pushing themselves to come to school and work hard, then they could definitely be successful in dual enrollment.
Very good, Attorney Battle. Very good. Springfield Emergency Academy at the High School of Commerce. Kenya, Serrano, grade 7, Randy Soto, grade 7, supported by Misael Ramos, the assistant principal. And if I pronounce your
evening.
name wrong, please.
Good evening, Mayor Sarno, Superintendent, and all the school committee, teachers and staff. It's a privilege for me to present 2 students from Emergency Academy, a school that started with 22 students, and we are up to 110, and also opening up 9th grade this year. So we are really, really excited about that. So we are introducing Kenya Serrano and Randy Soto. Kenya, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos.
Good evening, Mayor Saren and Superintendent Warrens, school community members, and all Springfield Public School staff and students. My name is Kenya Serrano. I am originally from El Salvador. I am currently student at Emergencies Academy. One of the reasons why I love my school is because I can learn more English with small classes, and the teachers are willing to help. Also, I feel this is a real community and we respect all our differences. I love that we have some time to do homework with a stuff or that can help us with it. Lastly, I really like that we have a time in our schedule to read and have some joy time. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you, Kenya. Randy?
Good evening, Mayor Sarno, Superintendent Marwick, school committee members, and all Springfield Public School staff and students. My name is Randy Soto. I'm originally from Guatemala. One reason why I love Emergency Academy is because my community comes to school to learn and become excellent English speakers. Also, our community is diverse from students all over the world. Another reason why I love my school is because I feel supported by all my staff members, and every day I learn something new, either some students around me or staff. Lastly, I love my school because even though we learned a lot, we also have time to have fun and compete against the teacher in games. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Nice job, Randy. Nice job.
Thank you.
Springfield Honors Academy, it's at the High School of Commerce. Sandy Viruet, grade 12. Aliyah Muhammad, grade 12. There's alternatives just in case. Isabel Almodovar, 9th grade is Yomar Benitez, supported by AP teachers Dina Cooper, AP Dina Cooper, as Associate or Assistant Principal Dina Cooper. Teachers Alex Hoopert and Daigo Tossa. Please.
Good evening, Mayor Sarno, Superintendent Warwick, School Committee. We have 2 students that are going to be showcasing our summer camp opportunity, Camp Shatterproof. It's a camp that we started 2 years ago in direct response to the social emotional needs of our students as we return back to school. I do think that Yomar has dropped off, unfortunately, so we'll hear from Sandy Viruet at this time.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandy Viruet, and I'm a senior at Springfield Honors Academy. And my experience at Camp Shatterproof was very interesting. I created new connections with students and I shared many fun experiences with them. Camp Shatterproof helped me to get out of my comfort zone and be confident with meeting new people, and it allowed me to learn more about leadership and how to understand others despite their differences and their backgrounds. Shatterproof made the school feel more than just a school. I love the safe and welcoming environment that was created here, and I definitely recommend students to participate in this beautiful experience.
Nice job, Sandy. Thank you. Maria Mohammed?
So it was just Jomar and Sandy for tonight. The other two, unfortunately, aren't able to make it.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll now move on to Forest Park Middle School. Eliana Peralto Shivers, grade 6. Dabobo, if I pronounce it wrong, please, Dabo Osman, grade 7, supported by Sarah Macon, principal.
Good evening. We have two of our student council members this evening, and they each wrote their own, so they're very excited to be here, a little nervous, but they practiced and they're ready to go. So Dahabo is going to start us off.
Okay, Dahabo.
Hi, my name is Dahabo. I'm a student council rep for My Advisory 206, and I'm a 7th grader from Forest Park Middle School. This year, everyone has been getting along, and behaviors have changed over the year. This year, attendance has been very good. People have been coming to school on time and going to class on time. I feel like the classes are more productive and students have a chance to learn more. The classes are easy and the classwork is easy. Some things I'm looking forward to is more incentives and the school store. The incentive I've liked most was the dress down. I enjoyed it and I feel like students have really enjoyed it. This year, I'm hoping it goes great. And I'm also looking forward to an amazing year at Forest Park Middle School. Thank you for your time and have an amazing day.
Well, thank you very much. Nice job, dear. Eliana.
Eliana, go ahead.
Eliana.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi, my
Eliana.
name is Eliana Peralta Shivers, and I am a 6th grade student council rep at Forest Park Middle School. My favorite classes this year are reading and writing and English. In ELA, you get to write a lot, and the teacher just gives us topics, and we keep improving on it. In reading and writing, we can listen to music while we do our independent reading. The teachers here are really caring and want to get to know us. One game we play is Would You Rather. It is a fun way to get to know each other, and teachers can use it for prizes in the classroom. We like that we get to wear our Forest Park shirts so we don't have to wear polos every day. You see almost everyone in their Forest Park clothing. We can earn kickboard money just by doing what we're supposed to, listening to teachers and participating in class. As long as you put in effort, even if you are wrong, you can earn the money. I like that we can spend this money in the school store and on Forest Park clothing, and also to buy tickets to different events. The student council has a voice in planning these events, and I like that we are recognized for doing good work in class or as a helpful member of the school community. I hope you get a chance to visit us at Forest Park Middle School this year.
Nice job, dear. And thank you.
Thank you.
Springfield Realization Academy at Forest Park Middle School. Janelle Ortiz, grade 6. London Stewart, grade 7, supported by Hayden Lyons, principal. Thank you for being here.
Hello, I'm sitting in for Mr. Lyons. My name is Salinas Cruz. I'm the adjustment counselor here at Springfield Realization. I am honored to introduce both London Stewart and Janielle Ortiz that will be sharing their experience of SRI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cruz.
Thank you.
I do the same thing too. Don't worry, dear.
Good evening, Mayor Serrano, Superintendent Warwick, and members of the school committee. My name is London Stewart, and I am delighted to speak to you this evening about my experience as a scholar at SRA. SRA, as I am sure you know, is how we affectionately refer to Springfield Realization Academy. I'm 13 years old, and I have been at SRA for 2 years. In SRA, I grew a lot academically, and I changed my perspective on certain things. With the help of Mr. Lyons, Dr. Sapp, and the teachers at the school, I've been out of drama, balancing my personal life for education, and keeping my grades up. At SRA, the teachers help us get a head start to think on what we want to be in the future. At SRA, they teach us that learning and being great citizens come with perseverance, integrity, justice, and service. We see students show integrity every day. They do something wrong and then be honest later. Students show justice every day. SRA students don't condone any type of bullying. When we see people that are different, we love them for who they are. Students show perseverance every day. We keep working hard despite all the troubles we go through at home. Last but not least, service. We give stuff to others even when we don't expect a gift in return. When we need assistance with our work, the teachers will help us understand the work better using different strategies. The 6th graders now are a work in progress, but they are getting better day by day like the 7th graders are too. They are accomplishing things, getting good grades, receiving awards, and having perseverance along the way. The students' classes are always intriguing. On the days it is boring, we always manage to pull through while learning amazing things. SRA is just a big family that wants to succeed in life and see others accomplish goals. Thank you very much for your time.
London, nice job, London. Thank you. Janelle?
Good evening, Mayor Sarner, Superintendent Warwick, and members of the school committee. I am a 6th grader in SRA, and SRA is a good school. The reason why I say that is because the classes are good and the teachers are also nice. In SRA, I have learned some new stuff, like in math class, I have learned new things about equations that I didn't know before. I learned new stuff in Spanish humanities. I learned new words in Spanish and their meaning, and the teacher there is super funny and nice. In Spanish class, we learned that there are many different words for the word the. In the classroom, the students are nice, hardworking people so that they could pass. In regular humanities class, I have learned some new stuff, and the teacher is very funny and nice. She will always help you out. In science class, I have also learned how the body works and what the different cells are and how the body has bacteria in it. Some are bad and some are good. One of my favorite classes is gym. I like it because it's a class where I can relax and play with my friends, just having fun playing with footballs, basketballs, and soccer balls. The last class I have is art, but it's kind of like music since we can play with the drums. I like art because it's a fun class and the teachers are fun, and I love playing with the drums. The class I have when I first go to school is crew. Crew is like a class where they tell what is going to happen for the week, what is going to happen soon. And I like when we do Google Classroom meetings because then people can get shouted out and celebrated. And now there is a student of the month which I am trying to work up to. But in general, SRA is a school that I'm happy that I was chosen to go to because a lot of my friends went there and everyone is just nice there. And I wouldn't want to change schools because I had a lot of good friends and moments and teachers there. So that is my opinion on SRA Middle School. Thank you for your time.
Nice job, Janelle. Thank you. My understanding is that Springfield Honors Academy of Commerce, Yomar Benitez is back on. So Yomar, we'd love to hear from you. And we're going to bring you on.
Hello. Okay. I'm Joe Benitez, and I'm a freshman at Springfield Honors Academy. One of my biggest fears of like transitioning to high school was I wouldn't know enough people and everything would just be like really weird and awkward because I have bad anxiety. But I attended the Camp Shatterproof and it really helped out with like, I got to know a lot of people and especially most of my teachers. So once the year started, my anxiety was a lot less and I was like really comfortable in the area. Everybody's really supporting and like, you can do like, in a good way. You can be who you are and do what you want without being judged. And it's really good. I like it a lot. Thank you for your time.
Nice job, Yomar. Good job. We'll now move to Van Sickle Academy. Jasper Melton, grade 8. Aiden Archivo, if I pronounce it wrong, grade 8, correct me. Bobby Francesca is principal, and Ronnie McCoy, assistant principal. And Bobby, tell your parents I said hello. I'll see them in church. So we don't, who's going to go first? We have, hey, Bobby, how are you, Bobby?
Hi, sir. How are you? Thank you, Mayor Serrano, Superintendent Warwick, and school committee members. I'm with tonight with Ronnie McCoy, assistant principal, Jasper Melton, and Aiden Archivo. I want to say I have two of the best young men in the city of Springfield attending my school. I'm very proud and very fortunate. Amazing young men. They're here to talk to us tonight. I'm very proud of them, and I know their parents are very proud of them. And I appreciate them attending my school. I'm fortunate to have them attend my school, and I appreciate your support and everyone's support at Van Sickle. So with that being said, I'll introduce Jasper, who's going to be going first.
Thank you, Principal Francesca. Jasper, you're up.
Hello, Honorable Mayor Serrano, Superintendent Warwick, and the members of the school committee. My name is Jasper Melton III, and I'm 13 years old, standing for Van Sickle Academy. I'm originally from Boston, so I'm not very familiar with the entire Springfield community yet, but I'm proud to say Springfield is my home. My favorite things to do in my free time are playing video games, reading comic books, and I'm a big DC fan, by the way. My experience from 6th to 8th grade was good and bad. In 6th grade, online learning was a struggle for me, and it was kind of hard learning the ropes. But when we finally went back into school, things became much easier, and I could finally see and interact with people, and school became fun. 7th grade was a roller coaster. It kind of had me picking and choosing the days and I'll be 100% or not. But the teachers were very supportive, and they pushed me through every single step, from day one to the very end. As an 8th grader, my future career has just begun, and I'm excited for the future. The teachers are very enthusiastic, and I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. You're doing fine, Jasper. Doing fine.
Proud to say that I'm a part of Van Sickle. My favorite thing about Van Sickle is the diversity. So as I said before, I'm originally from Boston, so my classmates are primarily white or black. But in this school, there's a lot of different races and cultures, and that's not even saying like the entire grade. Currently, I don't participate in any school activities, but I'm hopeful for sign-ups for basketball and volleyball. In my opinion, if I could change one thing about VSA, it would be extracurricular activities, such as more sports, bodybuilding, astronomy, technology, and many more to help build a future or a dream for future students. In my opinion, building a dream or building a goal is the key to innovation. Without that, there is nothing. The future is everything, in my opinion. I'm not sure where I want to go in high school, but it's kind of weighing my options. There's some schools where I prefer to play on sports team, and other schools that are better for academics. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you.
Nice job, Jasper. Glad to have you in Springfield. Aiden, you're up, Aiden. And how do you please pronounce your last name? Because I don't think I pronounced it correctly, by the way.
Sir, I don't believe he came back in the second round once we got disconnected. If somebody could check to see if he's there.
Thanks, Assistant Principal McCoy. Thanks, Ronnie.
Sorry, yeah, I don't see him. He's not here anymore.
All right, we have one more school. If he does come back on, as we did with Yomar Benitez, Bobby, Principal Francesca, we'll bring him back on. Again, we apologize for technical difficulties. Rise Preparatory High School at Van Sickle. Edward Phoebus, Yadaris Olivio Serrano. Edward is grade 10. Yadaris is grade 11, supported by Deotis Williams, Jr., Assistant Principal.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Serrano, Superintendent Ward,
Good evening.
members. It is my honor to introduce two of our illustrious scholars, Edward Phoebus, 10th grade, and Yadaris Olivo Serrano, 11th grade. And so, Edward, I'll let you open it up.
Hi, I'm sure you're aware, my name is Edward. I'm a sophomore. I came to Rise as a newer freshman. I unfortunately wasn't able to experience middle school, but as somebody who did graduate very well, or I should say successfully, from my freshman year. Rise Prep is an amazing school in so many ways, from the teachers to the students to what we're learning to the building itself. So Rise is a newer school, having been founded 4 years ago, and as new as it is, it's a very incredibly diverse school with its classes and students as well as culture. The teachers are amazing. They're very sympathetic, understanding, kind. Without them, freshman year wouldn't have been as easy as it was. I came from Forest Park Middle School. I actually know a couple people in here. Forest Park was an experience and I did enjoy it, but coming to Rise Prep as a high school really helped open my mind. The amount of opportunities that are given to us daily are exceptional. It's wonderful. The team behind making sure we get these opportunities are always on it, sending us emails, reminding us, even sometimes reaching out to us individually. Rise Prep has done an amazing job trying to ensure my successful future. And that's about it. So thank you.
Nice job, Edward. Thank you, Edward. Right from the heart. Yadiris, you're up, please.
I think I saw it still on here.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, hope she, you know what? Yeah, I think she might have got dropped, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, no, I see you on there. Yeah, Daddy, are you still there? Oh, she must be having technical issues.
Apologies to you, dearest. One last call, Van Sickle Academy. Aiden, did Aiden come back on?
No, sir, he did not.
Okay, and one last call for you, dearest. All right, that concludes the meeting. Great job, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Again, our apologies for the technical difficulties.
Mayor Sarno, I'm sorry. In the chat, your dearest does say that she's here, so I don't know if she's able to speak.
Okay, no, she's here. We want to hear from her. Thank you for jumping on there.
Yeah, Daddy, is your mic working? Oh, yeah, she doesn't think her mic is working at the time, unfortunately.
Okay. I can't wait till we can all get back together in person.
Aiden Archibald came back on.
Aiden, okay, Hayden, all right. Just when you thought you were out, we dragged you right back in. He doesn't know that movie line. You do, though. Aiden, come on. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Your dearest will catch up to you again. This is Van Sickle Academy.
Serrano, Superintendent Warwick, and members of the school committee. My name is Aiden Archibald. I'm 13 years old. I'm an athlete who has a passion for playing baseball. I pitch and I play center field. My experience at this school has been great, although it started off pretty weird with a lot of online learning, which in my opinion was pretty bad and distracting. My 7th grade experience was better. It was back to normal. We were able to socialize, although we still had to wear masks. We were able to be kids, be with our friends and have fun, especially in like other classes such as social studies and science. In my opinion, I feel like learning can be fun, especially in those classes. Science was really challenging too. We did a lot of cool science projects from one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Doming. And one of the things that I would like to say about VSA is gym. Although the games can be a little weird and a little new, I still get to show off my athletic abilities, I guess, and show off. And then when it comes to my academics, I love to learn about the world and to learn about science, which are my favorite classes so far. I like to know how things work and what happened to make the world what it is today. This year in school sports, I hope that we can play basketball because last year it wasn't really like that. We had COVID and it kind of messed it up. So this year I hope to participate in it. The inter-district competition allows middle schoolers to represent their school to the entire city and builds pride. And when it comes to outside hobbies, I don't really do much but play with my friends or play sports or just stay at home. If I could change anything about VSA, it would, I guess, be like uniforms. I would like to have like spear weeks and like at least one dress down day a month, which I feel like, in my opinion, would be pretty cool. My future goals is to be one of the world's greatest baseball players and be able to play for the New York Yankees. And I also want to go to a good school for both high school and college because even if I get a chance to get drafted out of high school, I still want to play at the collegiate level. I'm a dreamer, and that is a good trait to have. I am also realistic when it comes to my education, and I want to have a college education as a backup, maybe mechanical engineer. One high school that I hope to go to is Central. I want to go there and work to get a good scholarship and show people that I can get the job done and work to be the strongest and the greatest. Thank you.
Good job. Continued success on and off the field. Thank you, everyone. That concludes the student representatives from the Springfield Empowerment Zone. We'll just go into a 30-second or 1-minute recess, and we'll go into our regularly scheduled meeting. Again, thank you for your patient understanding with the technical difficulties. Good evening, everyone, and our apologies for running a little late. We had some technical difficulties, but we wanted to make sure, as you've seen, we wanted to hear from our student representatives from the Springfield Empowerment Zone. They did a tremendous job. So thank you for your patience and understanding. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Here.
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 Present. Can we all please rise for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I believe we're also joined by our student high school representative from Central High School. We have a triangle that is the Ariana Cruz also, and we look forward to her report very shortly. So we'll go to section 2, approval of the minutes. Approve the minutes of September 29, 2022 school committee regular session. Any questions or comments?
So moved, Mayor.
Okay, hearing none. Motion by Vice Chair Collins. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, one sufficient votes, matter passes. This evening, there are no voting items. We'll move directly to section 4, informational discussion items. This is the 2021-2022 year review data presentation. We'll turn it over to Superintendent Warwick, please.
Thank you, Mayor. We do this report every October. It includes all of our data, and we've just received all the Mcas data, so we've done a synopsis of all the Mcas data. In your packet, we have our presentation tonight, and then there's a second packet of data that shows the district by grade and all the schools data with all 3 pieces: the average scaled score, the percent meets and exceeds, and the average SGP. So a lot of information in there for your perusal. I'm going to go through the presentation now. So starting with the presentation, where as we always start with our strategic plans. So you can see our old strategic plan, and we, as you know, have moved forward to our new strategic plan. And Our portrait of a graduate, we've worked hard on. What I like most about it is it's student-centric. We started with what do we want our kids to know and be able to do when they graduate from high school? So I think that approach and built the whole plan from what our kids need to do with input from thousands of community members. And you can see the portrait of a grad up there now. And again, every community group, every religious group in the city was engaged in this process with the idea of what do we want our kids to know and be able to do. So everyone can see their fingerprints on what was developed, and it's quite an ambitious plan. And hopefully it'll take us forward like our last plan did. Our district-wide data, just to show you where we're at. We have 70 schools. We're the second largest district in New England. We have dropped student count, but so has everyone else. We're at 23,799. We've added Belly at preschool this year, and we've done the full day preschool for 3- and 4-year-olds. We've had some changes in names of a few of the schools, like Lyceum changing to Legacy, and Emergency Academy of Commerce has grade 9 and 10. You can see the budget there and the staff FTEs. We have a total FTEs now of 4,707. Again, with the Opportunity Act money and everything else we've added to the schools, we gave the money out to the schools so they could add staff. Our staffing FTEs have increased rather dramatically the last 2 years. You can see the breakdown of our demographics of our student population in a graph and a little information to the side. And you can see our staff information. The staff information, you can see the students from the staff from diverse backgrounds has improved and is much better than the rest of Massachusetts, but we still have a ways to go there. And I think what's important information is on the right. You can see our numbers compared with the state. So our low income numbers in Springfield, second highest in the state to Lawrence, 87.4% relative to the direct aid, free and reduced lunch, 43.8% in the Commonwealth, so half. High needs, 90.6%. 55.6% in the rest of the states. First language not English, 29.8%, 23.9% in the rest of the state. And students with disabilities, 24.7%, 18.9% in the rest of the state. Start with our data. We're starting with attendance. And attendance has been something we had worked very hard on, and you can see it charted out. And what you're going to see in all of the graphs tonight is SPS data, which would include SPS and the empowerment zone, then SPS data, and in this one, it's the green line, is SPS data excluding the empowerment zone schools. So you can see both. You can see the empowerment zone schools, the light blue line, and then Massachusetts on top. And you see the same trend in all of the information. Obviously, attendance was improving through 19, and then with the start of the pandemic, attendance has gone down here and in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as well as the empowerment zone. We're beginning to get some improvement in that. We improved 1.5% during the month of September, but last year was a very tough year with attendance. But we had made steady gains in the years in the past, so we're going to put those strategies in place again. Chronic absenteeism, same trend, same data, the different breakouts. Here you have a graph, and then you have a second graph that shows the different levels. So you can see the chronic absenteeism, again, a nice improvement. If you look at SPS, excluding the ZEP, nice decline in chronic absenteeism. But then with the pandemic, way up again. And actually, the Massachusetts went way up too. So chronic absenteeism was a huge problem during the pandemic. We're hoping to get it under control, but it was a very tough statistic because it was not meant for pandemic times. Showing by level where the problem is, you can see pre-K went up to 65.9% last year. Now, a lot of our pre-Ks last year were half-day pre-Ks, so the attendance was a problem anyway. But you can see every level, the chronic absenteeism was hugely problematic here and again in the rest of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Out of school suspensions, now it's all culture and climate data. What we're showing you here is the ZEP in green and SPS without the ZEP in blue. So you can see how they broke out. You can see a drastic reduction in out-of-school suspensions, whether it's in the ZEP schools or in the Springfield Public Schools without the ZEP. You can see in the Springfield Public Schools, in 2012, we had 3,415. And last year we were 1,019. And that's where the kids coming back after the pandemic. So the staff did an incredible job with that. You can see a reduction in the ZEP schools as well. Number of arrests, same bit of good news. You can see the decline over the years. 2012, we had 305. Last year we had 16. That's with a student body of almost 24,000 students. So a small fraction of what it used to be. Total bullying incidents, again, you can see the ZEP in green, SPS in blue, and from 2012 to the present. And again, you can see the same trend with a drastic reduction, a small fraction of what we used to have. The next section we're going to go over is the Mcas results. And just as a framework on the Mcas results, the statewide context, statewide, there were signs of recovery in math and science from last year. There was improvement across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and in Springfield as well. There was a decline in ELA scores, particularly in grades 3 to 5, and we had a small decline as well. The 2022 test was the first time for the 10th graders in 3 years they took a test because of the pandemic. So that was a very tough situation for them. The science and technology exam in grade 10 was the first next-gen science and technology exam administered. So there's no comparison data because it's a completely different test and a completely different scoring framework. It's now scored like ELA and math. Student growth scores. We returned to the usual calculation method across the state this year, but due to the pandemic last year, the way they calculated it was different. So to give you a comparison on that, we have to move back to before the pandemic. And what DESE has announced based on all of the data and the difficulties during the pandemic, that their intent and all the future tests, they're going to use 2022 as a baseline and benchmark improvement from there so that we can recover from the pandemic. So start with on the next page, we have the English Language Arts MCAS. So you have a graph to your left and you have some data and a chart on your right. So again, we're using the same key where we have SPS without the empowerment zone, so you can see everything. Other urban districts, what we did was we took all the urban districts that had over 80% poverty, and we used those as a comparison to see how we stacked up against them. And then we gave you the state numbers too. What you can see is in ELA MCAS for grades 3 to 8, SPS without ZEP had a -1.9. Most of the losses were at the elementary level across the state. So we did the same as that. ZEP went up 1.8, but they don't test elementary schools. So it was a little different. Other urban districts down 1.6 and the state 2.3. What you're going to see through the data is Springfield, ZEP, and we pretty much followed the state trend through all the different scores. The next page is ELA MCAS grade 10. So this is for our high school students. You can see in grade 10, we went down 1.2, the ZEP 3.6, other urban districts 0.7, and the state -4.7. We had a very good year the year before in grade 9 and didn't have a drop. So we experienced a small drop this year in grade 10. This next chart we put together to really show you learning loss pre-pandemic. So if you follow it across, what you're going to see is SPS, no ZEP, ZEP, and Massachusetts as we go through these. While there was some improvements from last year, when you go back to 19, there's a decline in scores. And that's the learning loss. It really shows you 19 to 21 that's gone along across the state. The only exception is the SPS scores in grade 10 went up a little bit. But overall, you're going to see that demonstrates the real learning loss because 19 is pre-pandemic. So while a lot of our scores are up from last year, They're not up pre-pandemic, and neither are the states. The next graphic, it shows you our ELA against other urban districts that are like ours: Chelsea, Fall River, Holyoke, Lawrence, New Bedford, and Southbridge, based on poverty rates. And Springfield is second to Lawrence in poverty rate. So you can see in the first graph, grades 3 to 8. On the right, grade 10, you can see that Springfield scaled score of 485 is the highest of all of those districts. You can see our grade 10 score, 489.7, had held up after COVID and done well. And again, the highest of all the other urban districts. Mcas, similar reporting scheme as ELA, showing that we did have a gain in SPS of 5.5. ZEP 1.1, other urban districts 4.1, and state 3.8. Again, a similar trend you can see, but math across the state, there was really signs of recovery from last year, but not if you compare it back to 19, which I'll show you in a minute. Grade 10, you can see the signs. We had a slight gain in grade 10. ZEP went down a little bit. Other urban districts had a little bit better gain than us, and the state was 0.5. You could see, however, our total number, 483.8, is higher than all the other urban districts, 482.5. And again, this graph, which we put together, which we hadn't done in the past, shows you the comparison from 19 to 22. And you can see that everyone, SPS, ZEP, all across Massachusetts, is down due to the pandemic, which I don't think is a huge surprise to anybody. The next chart shows you SPS compared to other urban district, again, using the scaled score comparison. And you can see here in math for grades 3 to 8, we were second highest among the districts. And in math for grade 10, we were the third highest among the districts. So again, we more than held our own. Science MCAS grades 5 and 8, we had comparisons because they've been using the science tests. So again, like the trend, we went up in science. We went up 2.6. ZEP went up 0.4. Other urban districts up 0.1. The state is down minus 0.2. So, you know, and again, you can see our score in science is higher than the other urban districts. Science for grade 10. Again, it's a new test, so there's no comparison to previous years because it's a new scoring system. So you can see where we fared, 480.5, the other urban districts 479.7, and the state 499.1. So our goal as we move to the future is going to be narrowing that gap with the state. You can see the science grades 3 to 8, again, improvement from last year. But if you go back to 19, you see the dip. So the recovery has started in science and math. ELA is going to be a little slower. I think the kids lost a lot of key ELA instruction. Science against the other urban districts. You can see that grades 3 to 8, we were the second highest among the districts. And you can see that in grade 10, we're the third highest. Average scaled scores by grade level. And if you can follow across, you can see that at the elementary grades, 3, 4, and 5, even though we experienced a dip, we're still much higher than the middle school scores. And then you go back to the high school and there's a pop up again. And that's a trend we've had. When you follow across on the right to the empowerment zone, you see that same trend, but a bigger dip in grade 6, 7, and 8. And grade 10. Math following across, really same pattern, not quite as big a dip as ELA in the middle school grades, but you see the dip, and you see the dip in the empowerment zone as well. Science on the next one, average scale score by grade level. You can see grade 5, significant improvement, grade 8, improvement, and our grade 10 score, nothing really to compare it to. So, and you can see ZEP on the right, grade 8, grade 10, not quite as much improvement in grade 8, and And you only have the grade 10 score without a comparison. The next graph, and we're going to show you several graphs now that are going to do the demographic breakouts. And you're going to see some trends here too. You're going to see that on the bottom, it explains the blue is going to be SPS without ZEP, and the green is going to be the rest of Massachusetts. And as you follow through, we're one of the highest in poverty in the state. If you look at African-American students, 485.8 last year. Our African-American students scored higher than the state average, second highest poverty in the Commonwealth. Same thing with our Hispanic students, 483.5, 482.7 across the state. So our really improvements have been most significant in our subgroups. All of our subgroups you can see are closer to the state than our all. So our subgroup improvement has really been significant over the years and continued to be significant. ELA, you can see there was a drop overall everywhere. But again, the graph against the state in our subgroups is positive.
Superintendent, I have a question.
Go ahead,
On
Ms.
that,
Fisher.
on that slide.
Yep.
The previous one, where it says EL and former EL, what's that? What is?
English language learners.
Yeah, but it says informer.
Former EL, the kids who were just matriculated out the first years they're out. They're still counted as EL.
Okay, so you mean, say that again, I'm sorry.
So they're in the English language learner program.
Right.
When they first exit, they're still tracked as in that
they're
program.
still okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Here and across the rest of the state park. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question. Grade 10, see similar comparison. The subgroups are closer to Massachusetts. The biggest gap is in the all, but the subgroup piece is very strong. Math, you can see that same trend, closer in the subgroups, the biggest gap in the overall. So we made tremendous progress in the subgroups over the years. Same trend for grade 10 in math. Science, again, that same trend, the biggest progress in the subgroups against the state and the biggest gap in the overall. This is a different graph. This one has 2002 SPS, no ZEP, and then just the state. So it shows the comparison against the state for science grade 10 because there was no test from the year before. The next slides are the student growth slides. The student growth side, as you know, we have the scaled score, we have the student growth, and then you have the percent meets and exceeding expectations. The student growth slides show a student's improvement against what it should be by a percentage. The average in the state is usually around 50%. So it's graphed against that 50%. So you can see as we go, again, the SPS without the empowerment zone, the other urban districts, and then the state. You can see we made improvement in the SGP across the board. You can see we're higher in the other urban districts and we've really narrowed the gap with the state, very, very close to the state. So very positive progress there. SGP for grade 10, same trend. You see the improvement. Pretty SPS without ZEP was 8.2 improvement, but you can see very much narrowing the gap at the state with a 45.1. ZEP did very well in this statistics also. They were up to 47.2. So very promising against the state. The other urban districts were down at 41.3. So we really did better than all the other urban districts. Math, again, same trend. You had improvement in math, very positive improvement. SPS going stronger than ZEP and again, stronger than the other urban districts. And that 47 as compared to 49.9, really narrowing the gap with the state. Now math grade 10. You can see that there was improvement here. SPS with no ZEP is 39.2. The other urban districts, 38.7. Again, us scoring higher. And the ZEP took a little dip in grade 10 and we're scoring higher than them also. And again, narrowing that gap with the state. Access is the test given to EL students that measures their progress towards English attainment. And what you have SPS total in light blue, SPS without ZEP in green, and then the ZEP results. And you can see the SPS results, if you're tracking the green without the ZEP, you could see back in 18, we were up at 41%. Up to 20, we were doing well, improving, and then we took that terrible dip in 21. You know, these are the kids who were hit hardest by the pandemic. They needed to be in school. They needed instruction. They weren't in school, and it really affected their English attainment. But you can see last year with direct instruction in Springfield, they went up to the highest ever at 50%. So that's measuring English attainment. And you can always see the progress in the English language learner program on every chart is incredible, but this access is extremely positive. And you can see there was a bounce back in the ZEP schools as well, just not as significantly. Next statistics going away from MCAS is the 4-year cohort graduation rate, showing you the improvements over the years, again, against the state average. You can see SPS in light blue, SPS without ZEP in green, the SPS in darker blue without ZEP or the alternatives. So if you track that across, you can see we're higher than the state at 94.2%. You know, no one else has 9 alternative schools that they're adding to the matrix when they're doing this. So it shows you how when we break it out and we show you the graduation rates in the high schools, the numbers are in the 90s. They're absolutely incredible. And our average is 94.2. That's the best of all. What you see here also is very, very good improvement in the ZEP. ZEP has changed some of the configurations of the schools. So like when you're tracking the high schools, they've added Honors Academy. Obviously that's helped, but their improvements very, very strong here also. So a very good news story for SPS and the Empowerment Zone schools. The best story I think of all is the 4-year graduation rate by subgroup. Again, when you look at the bottom, you have SPS in blue, SPS with no ZEP and no alternative schools in green across the subgroups. And you can see right across the chart, the state is on the top with the dots, the black dots. We exceed the state in every demographic group significantly. Really impressive. Tremendous. And, you know, just really incredible. The next one, you can see it broken out by school, so you can see how that happened. So you see progress among the schools. Tremendous progress at Commerce in the Empowerment Zone. And for the first time, we broke out Commerce and Honors Academy. Honors Academy has a 96.6 rate. This was the first time we had that graduating class. So that was absolutely tremendous. But overall, Commerce has shown tremendous improvement in the graduation rate. All of them have. Central has gone from 74.6 to 93.6. SciTech, I like to point out 39.9 to 91.5. And that's with the same kids that have been there. So that's really significant. But you see it across all the schools. Putnam 71.1 to 96.8. So a vocational school with that high in urban voc, incredible. The number of dropouts, you can see our schools in blue and the ZEP in green, how that's improved over the years. Sorry, Barb?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had a question about Gateway at Holyoke Community, 55.6. What happened there, do you know?
Gateway's an alternative school, Barb.
Oh, it's an alternative?
Yeah, it's an alternative school. Oh. So the kids aren't going to graduate in alternative schools at very high rates because it's a graduation metric in 4 years. And the kids going to alternatives don't often graduate in 4 years. So you're going to see the alternatives much lower on those charts.
Okay.
Just to point out with the alternative schools, and it also goes for the drug and alcohol school that we have, which takes students from Western Mass. Many other surrounding communities do not have that mechanism. Right. And if it was not for that mechanism, these kids would be on the street. So, you know, we really want to commend the district.
Right.
We continue to try to reach the kids. So I'm glad the superintendent broke it down. If you take that out, we're in the low to mid 90 percentiles in graduation rate, but it's not right to give up on these young men and young ladies. So we try to be creative
Rhonda Jacobs and her team has done a great job. And a lot of these kids are graduating in 5 years or even longer. So while they're reported negatively on this, they're still engaged in school. They're not quitting. That's why the dropout numbers are what they are. And they're doing a tremendous job. Yeah, the other thing is you have a very small number of students. So a few students can change that metric pretty
Do
dramatically.
we provide transportation for them?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Thank you.
So the number of dropouts, if you trace it going across, you can see that the data is absolutely spectacular, both in the empowerment zone, in green and in our schools, just really positive. The next table shows it again by school, same illustration as with the graduation rate, just tremendous improvements. You can see commerce, 13.6 down to 2.4 in the empowerment zone. Very, very positive. SciTech 11.6 to 0.6. An incredible turnaround also. But you see it in all the schools. Central's down to 0.9. You see it tracked all across. Again, they're going to be higher in the alternative schools because you're dealing with all your at-risk students. The district year in review, and you've seen this table for years. Through 2019, we were plus in every area. We have a pandemic dip, but only in certain areas. We have the pandemic dip in attendance like everyone else. And you can see that's gone on just since the pandemic years with the attendance dipping and chronic absence and severely chronic absence. You can see graduation dropout, which we talked about before, is up. College and career readiness, the SAT participation way up. The advanced participation placement exams with qualifying scores is up. And the advanced placement exams taken is up. And again, we were cited as one of the districts with the highest percent of kids taking those exams in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts from minority students. So that's an incredible improvement. And that's really due to a great deal of collaboration with Mass Insight across the state on working on that. Staff attendance, you can see that was going up through 2019. Obviously, the pandemic years, we've had some more challenges with that. And when you're talking about the pandemic dip, it was not only student absenteeism. Don't forget, we were dealing with a lot of staff absenteeism. So when the kids could get there, was their regular teacher always there due to COVID? And that had an impact on learning, which you saw in some of the graphs earlier. School climate and culture, tremendous improvements in every area. In school suspensions, again, a small fraction of what they were. Out of school suspensions, less than a third of what they were. Arrests down to 16 from 305. Bullying 209 down to 25. So tremendous growth in all of those areas. There's other information in your appendix that shows you some of the other breakouts, the meets and needs expectations. So you know that the breakout is, we show student growth. We have the other breakouts by categories. They don't show as specific information as the scaled score, but all of that information is here for your perusal to take a look at. It follows the similar trend as the information I've already given you. And then if you want the school by school breakouts for the percent meets and exceeds the scaled score and the average student growth percentile, you have to look at the second chart. And every school is listed there by zone. So you can go through those at your convenience.
Thank you, Superintendent
That
Warwick.
concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Superintendent Warwick. Any questions or comments?
I do, Mr.
Ms. Gresham, yes.
Thank you. Superintendent, on out of school suspension, can that be broken down by grade level?
Could we break it down by grade level?
Yes.
Sure, we could.
Okay, can you get that?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
We can do that.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to reports of standing committee. Student relation, parent concerns, Ms. Gresham.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Building and Maintenance Committee, Vice Chair Collins.
No report, Mayor.
Legislative Contracts Committee, Mr. Gonzalez.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. D Curriculum Programs Committee, Ms. Hurst, absent. Budget and Finance Committee, Vice Chair Collins.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Vocational Education Committee, Attorney Murphy, absent. G Technology Committee, Ms. Monroe Naylor, absent. H, School Safety Committee, Ms. Gresham.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. I, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Mr. Gonzalez.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. We'll now move of John Ariani Cruz, a student representative, school committee. And again, she's student representative for October through December from Central High School. Ariani, if you're on, and thank you for your patience, understanding. I know we're running behind. No? Okay, all right. We'll look forward to hearing from you next meeting. And again, we had those technical difficulties. Report of the superintendent. Superintendent Warwick, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I asked Pat Roach to get on tonight and just give you an update on the busing. He's been able to get the busing going for all the middle school sports and programs. Pat?
Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to give a brief update on the transportation because I know I gave an update at the last meeting. So for the middle school late buses, they started yesterday, so they are now in swing. And for middle school sports, those buses start tomorrow, so those will be up and running tomorrow. Some other good news with the buses, we submitted 2 major grants, one to the EPA for 25 electric buses. That would be approximately $8.7 million. It's a lottery, so we won't know how we'll do. There'll be future rounds of that lottery. We also applied for 4 buses through the Mass Clean Energy Center, and that would come with charging statement equipment. So we'd be working with First Student on how we'd roll that out. But in total, we applied for a grant for 29 buses, and that would significantly improve the air quality for the city where those buses run, and would provide a significant cost savings to us as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Roach. Any questions or comments? Ms. Gresham?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Was that new buses we're getting? He said new buses?
New electric buses,
Oh.
bus vehicles, Barb. You know, the pollution rates in Springfield are off the charts. The diesel buses throw off a tremendous amount of pollution. These electric buses will really help. We're the asthma capital of I think, the nation, because we're in the Pioneer Valley. This should help tremendously.
So
So it's very good news.
Oh, that is good. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments of Mr. Roach? Thanks, Pat. Superintendent Warwick?
Thanks, Pat. Great job with that. I was thrilled that the middle school programs could get back on going. So some good news from the state, and there's something in your package on this. We received a $370,000 TAG grant from the city. So they're the turnaround grants for our priority schools. So we're working on those now, and that should make a difference in those schools. Brightwood and Lincoln, there was a press release yesterday out of the mayor's office and with our Pat Sullivan and Pete Garvey, but the LEED Gold certification, the highest rating you can get for green buildings for Brightwood and Lincoln. So again, good news for the city of Springfield. Not only do we have a great building, but we have a building that's very efficient energy-wise and is going to be good for our environment. It's a very positive article, and I included that in your package too. 2 teachers in Springfield from the Empowerment Zone, Sally Kim and Marissa Ramos, named finalists and semi-finalists for Massachusetts Teacher of the Year. And in fact, as I was visiting last week, I got to meet Sally. So that was great. She's worked with Mikey Calvinese at Kennedy and Kiley, and Marissa works at Forest Park. And I happened to be at both of the schools and get to see them. So that was pretty cool. Let's see, we have, there's an article from the newspaper Business Monday about ML Schmidt donating electrical equipment to Putnam. So Putnam, continues to get good press, and actually people stepping up and wanting to work with us. And I just got a call, and we had a meeting with a major funder that wants to be part of the effort in Putnam to keep our shops, our vocational areas up to standards. So again, they had read about the Pioneer Institute article, they had read about the newspaper article, and want to partner with us to keep our shops upgraded. So Putnam continues to get that kind of support from the business community, which is, it was like the Bar Foundation that wanted to support the whole work with our new strategic plan, our portrait of a graduate. They ended up donating $1,125,000 towards the portrait of a graduate work. So this entity is interested in putting major money in vocational across the state. But they started with us when they read that Pioneer Institute article on how well Putnam was doing. So that was encouraging, because keeping your shops up to date with new technology is so important, because things become obsolete very quickly. And it takes a good bit of business support and financial wherewithal to accomplish that. Last meeting, the next article you're going to see is MIAA power rankings. We talked about why Central wasn't rated. 2 days later after the meeting, the power rankings came out and Central is #1.
Can I just say with Putnam too, again, Putnam's a #1 vocational technical school in the Commonwealth, and to ML Schmidt Company, which will be celebrating next year their 100th year in business here in the city of Springfield. Thank you for continuing to give back to our students at Putnam Vocational Technical Academy.
So important in the vocational areas to have, in each of those vocational areas, they have an advisory group of business leaders and business groups, that they stay working with those vocational areas. So we're getting the kids the skills they need so they can get the jobs in those specific fields. But all those companies that are actually partnering with us, supporting us, coming to those meetings, working with us, and they start again, like Belize and Smith & Wesson, contributing to the shops so they get the kids have the modern technology to really learn on.
Danny, Superintendent, I just had a young man in my office, the Dominican Republic, the consul general was in, and one of the family members related, a son was in, who graduated from Putnam Vocational Technical Academy last year, graphic arts. And he goes, and I'm working, I'm working with a company now. So, you can, anything you can do with your hands, you do it with pride, you're going to have an opportunity.
Another article that showed in last school committee meeting, we were saying, why doesn't the Boston Globe feature Central in any of their articles? In this article, they featured us, bringing in St. John's, which is a national power from Maryland and recruits regionally in the whole metropolitan DC area. Central was ahead at the end of the first half and gave them a heck of a game. And in spite of losing that game, because of the quality of the opponent, we went up in the rankings. Because they judge by quality of opponents. So, and plus our kids get the experience against the best competition. And I think that helps you when you get to the state tournament. And we're going to face the powerhouses that recruit regionally in Eastern Mass. And that's why you have 3 state championships in a row. And the last piece is our contracts report. There's an update on contracts. If you have any questions on those, please call Pat or I.
Thank you, Superintendent Warwick. Any questions or comments pertaining to Superintendent Warwick's report? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to unfinished business. Hearing none, we'll move to new business. Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, is there a second? Second by Vice Chair Collins. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, more than sufficient vote. This matter passes. Good evening and thank you for watching.